Greetings from Tromaville. I'm Lloyd Kaufman, president of Troma Entertainment and creator of The Toxic Avenger. You know, folks, when the Troma team and I are not making those great movies like Return to Nukem High and Return to Nukem High, aka Volume 2, we like to kick back and listen to Kill the Cast because Kill the Cast is the most educational and entertaining form of communication that the Trauma team and Uncle Lloyd have ever encountered. Thank you, Kill the Cast.
Welcome back to the program. If you're just tuning in, I'm sitting here live with the sole survivor of the Miles County Massacre, which occurred exactly 1 year ago today. I've worked on the show for many years, and I've never sat across from someone who has a story to tell quite like yours. Thank you again for taking the time to sit down and speak with me. It's my pleasure. Now, when we left off, we were talking about the moment you woke up from the coma. Do you remember your initial reaction when you first saw your face? Yes. Would you like to share that with us? I wish I was dead.
Hello everyone, welcome to Kill the Cast. My name is Jerry, and joining me as always is the ever-quotable Jay.
Sweetheart, I've been doing this 22 years, all right? Once you've seen an 8-month-old microwave to death, everything else is just old hat.
That's from that comic book you like, Crossed? Huh?
Well, yeah, I guess technically.
And the Silent Hill biker himself, Kenneth.
Oh my god, that's one of the most fucked up lines in the whole movie.
That's why I picked it.
My mom was like trying to be a coroner once, and she used to tell me about fucked up shit like that, man. So that shit actually happens.
I'm sure.
Yeah, I read all kind of weird shit. You should. Some of the fucking shit that's talked about
everything.
That like fucking Joseph Mendele did over in World War II. That shit's fucked up. Or what the Japanese did in the 711 camp or whatever it is. Oh my god, crazy. But speaking of crazy, we're also joined by a fan of the show, Heather.
Hi guys, thanks for having me.
Canada.
Yeah, so any questions for healthcare that I see on Jay's page from people that don't know what the fuck they're talking about, I'm happy to actually answer the real version, not whatever everyone else thinks.
About correctly.
I am already 100% you are amazing. Thank you for being on this show.
Now we're like 22 shots and exploding heads. We have a Canadian, except it's nice. A female Canadian. So fuck you guys. We're better.
Now, in all fairness, I'm only an hour outside of Buffalo, guys.
But that's okay because Dave from Exploding Heads is in Buffalo, and Paul from Who Will Survive is in Buffalo, and my favorite band of all time is from Buffalo, Every Time I Die. So therefore, being an hour away from Buffalo means you are an hour away from Keith Buckley, who is God.
I had no idea, but now that I know, I guess we'll have to go to Buffalo this weekend.
There you go. Actually, 1 year I want to go to the big Every Time I Die Christmas show called Shitmas that happens on Christmas Day that's in Buffalo. And if I ever go, you'll have to come down.
Oh, no, I'm taking you up here. You got it. I don't know if you guys know, but pot's legal in Canada now.
I'm coming up there.
So I don't need we can buy edibles.
And you have one of my other top 5 favorite bands, Alexis on Fire. So I'll come up there.
Yes, I saw them recently, actually.
Oh,
I saw them with Billy Talent. Yeah, they're good.
Oh my god. I love Alexis on Fire. Okay. We are doing, at the request of Heather, because we said, Heather, come on the show. Heather, what would you want to do? And she had mentioned before that she wanted to do Terrifier. And since Jay and Kenneth have both been telling me I need to watch it because I have not watched it because Reese is terrified of clowns, so I just didn't get around to watching it.
Yeah.
We watched it, and that's what we're going to review.
Did Reese watch it with you?
Fuck no. Not a chance.
I was hoping that you would.
I can't believe I got her to see 2017's It in theaters with me.
Yeah. Wow.
That was... Oh, okay, so... funny story. The theater the AMC that's right down the road is not the theater we normally go to because it was shot up once 2 years ago or something. So Reese won't go there, but I've been going there because it's right next to the house. And I convinced her to go see a movie. We went and saw Pet Sematary there. And literally anytime anyone stood up, she freaked out. Like they were about to shoot up the theater.
I'm ready.
I'll come up and go see a movie with y'all there.
She says she's not going back there anymore. So if I go there, I go alone.
Yeah, and so the crazy thing is they don't want people to have guns in movie theaters. I don't understand this. You should be able to fight back.
You know what's funny though is the theater got tons of fucking money for being shot up, so it's super nice. The chairs they recline and they have heaters in them. It's dope.
Wow.
So, whatever.
I just recently got on the bandwagon for heated seats, by the way.
Yeah, that was something you didn't know about.
No, I knew like I'm just talking about heated seats in general. Like Nikki has got a Honda Pilot, and so it's got heated seats in it. And for a while there, I didn't like them because damn, if I get too hot in a car, no matter whether I'm driving or not, I'm gonna get nauseous.
Huh? I didn't know that Street Fighter dude had a side job. That's crazy.
Say what?
A Honda Pilot. I didn't know E Honda from Street Fighter could fly a plane. I'm sorry. Continue. I'll see myself out.
But yeah, this last winter, man, I was driving her car and I was like, I was fucking freezing and I turned the damn thing on and I was like, damn, this is kind of cozy. So now I'm on the bandwagon for heated seats.
Kenneth, how cold? Like you're in Georgia, right? Is
Yeah.
that where you're at? How cold does it get in Georgia for
Well,
heated seats?
I mean, it doesn't get like fucking frigidly cold like Canada, but damn.
Or Canada or Buffalo is the same temp, but yeah.
I mean,
Buffalo is the entirety of Canada.
That's a weird line of.
Yeah, I don't know how they don't have the highest votes for the Electoral College.
But damn, I don't know. I think it was like fucking 15 degrees or something.
Yeah, you could use heated seats in there for sure.
You can use heated seats whenever you want. This is America.
That's true.
I don't know about Canada, but in America, we're free. Except if you don't like pay your taxes or you don't wear a seatbelt or you choose to do anything that the government shouldn't be involved in, then you're going to jail. How dare you collect rainwater or feed the homeless? Go fuck yourself, America. Guys.
I watch Live PD every week, and it's all about people finding roaches in cars and getting arrested is what I see in the southern states. So I don't know how accurate that is because it's Live PD, but it seems kind of intense.
Honestly, when it really comes down to it, it depends on the cop.
And it depends on how close to the end of the month it is.
Yeah, that
Makes sense. It depends on the color of your skin.
That also.
Yeah.
But
They
that
swear
will
up and
more
down.
end in death than getting arrested.
They swear up and down they don't have a quota, but I don't know about that.
They have.
They definitely
I
do.
fucking
thoroughly
quota.
believe that they do. But yeah, I mean, when it really comes down to it, I know a lot of cops, and so believe it or not, it depends on the cop. Some of them, if they find a roach in your car or something like that, they'll just fucking, throw it out or some shit like that and be like, go the fuck home. And then now in Atlanta, if you get caught with a certain amount, it's only a ticket. You don't even get arrested anymore.
That's good.
I'm moving back to Atlanta.
Because now fucking Georgia is, you can do medicinal.
Oh,
Yeah.
Good.
All right.
So,
So I have a topic that I would like to discuss. I was going to bring up Pet Cemetery, but I thought Jay had already seen it. But since he hasn't, and only me and
No,
Heather
I see it
have,
tomorrow.
we won't say anything. So
I'm probably going to wait for it to come out on Blu-ray, honestly.
that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fair. If you go see it in theaters, cool. I'm not as negative on it as everyone else is. Like, what I said in the Facebook group it was as close as I could get without spoilers. That it lacked character development and the pacing is very rushed, which they do by cutting out any chance of having any fucking character development. And
That's how I feel about the original.
And they no, you will see how much better the characters in the original are once you see that. Like, there's a very important character in the original who just gets nothing. You're just like, really? But the movie, while feeling rushed, is super fucking slow, which is weird. So, but the atmosphere in a lot of scenes are really fucking good. I really enjoyed the twist, which they were right. Trailer showed one of the twists. There's two twists, but
That's the
trailer
reason
showed one.
why I have not watched any trailer.
Give,
Ever since
Shyamalan a boner.
Yeah,
ever since you told me about the trailer, I haven't.
yeah. M. Night
watched the trailer, nothing.
Shyamalan is going to have to do 3 twists, and he's going to have to show at least 2 of the twists in his trailers just to beat Pet Cemetery. And he's somehow going to do a fake chain letter through email that, I mean, come on, seriously, it's like 2019. Why are you still fucking doing that, Shamlam? Just to trick Kenneth into watching it and accidentally getting it spoiled.
Was Glass good?
I don't know.
I loved it.
Okay.
I'm not a big
Shyamalan.
Shyamalan fan, but
I thought it was
And I don't need no trilogy. I don't need any fucking chain letters or nothing. I mean, if it's got his name on it, more than likely I'm going to watch it.
yeah, but I said trick you into watching the trailer so you could see the spoilers.
No, I'm not going to watch.
No, that's why
trailers
he's
or
going to create a chain letter to trick you, Kenneth.
anything. Yeah, but there won't be any tricks because I've given up on that.
Oh,
Everybody
yeah,
that
right. When you get the email that
That's
says,
because tricks
hot chick fucked by
Yeah, there you
Cinnabite in a graveyard surrounded
I'm
by
gonna go to
cats and tacos.
horrorporn.com.
All right,
Once
all
I
right.
get that email, horrorporn.com.
Yeah.
It's because of you, Kenneth, that I actually went to horrorporn.com.
See horrorporn.com?
And I looked at it.
You see horror porn?
It
We're
was a little intense for me.
we're
but it-
getting you there.
It was interesting, I'll give you
Really?
that.
That's weird. Kenneth watched it and was like, why is it PG-13?
I mean, honestly, it could have been a little more brutal for me, but, you know.
So, speaking of sex with the dead, has anyone ever, like, listened to the stories of people who have claimed that they've had sexual encounters with ghosts?
Yes.
I watched Ghostbusters where that one ghost sucked that Dan Aykroyd's dick, but that's about it.
So, I was thinking about this, okay? And I was like, you know what? 3 girls that I've been involved with in some form of way are dead. Not because of me. Let me clear that up.
Sure?
Okay, one that I've had sex with, one that gave me a blowjob, and one that I've made out with. All 3 of them are dead. Ironically, all from the same town.
They didn't die during sex, though, right?
You're a weird
No, I'm not that good, nor am I that disappointing. I'm somewhere right above disappointing. No, I'm not. Okay, by the time she realizes that I have a small dick and I don't know how to use it, I've already came. So...
So it doesn't matter.
yeah, exactly.
Can we get Reese on the show for a few minutes?
So, but I was thinking about this, and I was like, man, what if, like, one of these girls, like, came back as a ghost and, like, molested me or something?
That would be awesome.
But here's the thing, Reese, like, dreams about me cheating on her and gets mad at me. When she's the fucking one that dreamed it, if I'm getting raped by a ghost, is it my fault?
No.
And is it my fault if it's someone that is, like, an ex-girlfriend?
I don't feel that having sex with a corpse or with a ghost, either way, in a relationship is cheating.
Well, yeah, it's just like using a fucking fleshlight, right? It's just...
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. You know what I'm saying? I just don't. I'm being 100% honest. I'm not trying to be funny. I do not think that it's cheating.
Well, I'll say this. When Pamela Anderson dies, that's 90% plastic. It's technically a fleshlight anyway.
Might as well.
Yeah. Is she still alive?
I have no idea. She joined PETA and lost her goddamn mind. Fuck her and fuck PETA.
I think she lost her mind long before that.
Well, it might have been the fucking hepatitis that Tommy Lee gave her, but whatever.
After watching The Dirt, I am surprised that's all he's got.
Most of the other stuff he got, he caught with penicillin. Which goes...
That movie was fucking amazing.
How many more people was Eazy-E fucking over, like, Motley Crue and shit that he got AIDS and they didn't?
Right?
Fuck, Nikki Sixx was using heroin and didn't get AIDS, and Eazy-E got AIDS. How many bitches was he fucking? Or did Suge Knight actually give him AIDS? Think about it, won't you?
You gonna have me fucked up for the rest of the night now.
I know! We're doing
damn
ghost
it.
fucking and Eazy-E AIDS and... hey, what's Arts the Clown's favorite song? Hammer Smash Face. That's some Cannibal Corpse jokes for you.
Yes.
So
They're so
that's
good live.
that's what I've never seen them live.
They're awesome.
You
Weird.
even like them?
No. Weird. I like his neck. I like Corpse Grinder's
I've drugged
neck.
Jerry to a few metal shows without fucking goddamn that he didn't
Well,
want to go to.
what was that show you took me to? Like Black Label Society, Amon
That's a good-
Amarth.
Yeah.
Amon Amarth, I'm telling you to this day, Amon Amarth was the headliner. I don't know which one it was because BLS and Amon Amarth weren't on the same bill.
It was Black Label Society that I'm talking about because I got one of the dudes from that band to sign the ticket, and you were pissed because I didn't even see the show because I went downstairs to the emo screamo punk
I'm
show
upstairs fucking
and
watching BLS, and he's goddamn watching some emo shit
I
downstairs.
watched Greeley Estates, Halifax, and Medina Lake. And Medina Lake is still, that album they were torn off of is still one of my favorite albums of all time. It's great. But yeah, I did that. I think the only metal show I went to that I like strictly straight the whole time was when we all went and saw Gloire.
That was a good show.
That was a good one. But back on topic, we are talking about Terrifier. Depending on who you are, and depending on how you count release dates, this was either released in 2016 or 2018. It is about a manacle clown. A manacle? That's not how that works.
Mechanical.
It's about a robot clown that theorizes about trace ladies of underage status on the night between the living and the dead in a place where people used to live but now is occupied by the rat from Ratatouille. And he might be terminating anyone who is in his way as he looks for John Connor. Is that the movie we're doing? Is that it?
Yes.
Okay.
That actually sounds pretty badass.
No. A maniacal clown terrorizes 3 young women on Halloween night and everyone else who stands in his way. This is based off a short film called Terrifier that a lot of people saw in the movie All Hallows Eve that I have not seen. But apparently you don't have to see it to see Terrifier, so fuck yeah.
So I've not seen All Hallows Eve either, but way back when we were doing our Top 5 Fridays, when I did our Top 5 found footage, I used a clip from All Hallows Eve as the intro to that video, where I put the logo on the TV as she pops the VHS, and she's like, "You won't believe this tape that Billy has," and she puts it in, and the Kill the Cast logo comes up on the fuzzy TV.
I need that clip. That would be awesome.
Well, go look and watch it. It's fun.
Maybe. Okay. So
the Terrifier short in All Hallows Eve is actually really, really cool. I enjoyed it. I told Jay earlier that I like the guy that plays Art the Clown in the Terrifier movie more than the one in the short.
Oh, it's a different person.
Yes.
Yeah. But I actually I like he's not as skinny and as gaunt in All Hallows Eve as he is in this.
Yeah, so the original guy basically told the director, "I'm not really an actor and I don't want to do this." And so the director was like, "Okay, but I think Art the Clown's going to be big." And the guy was like, "No, I'm good."
Yeah, and you know, it was actually pretty good. I mean, I really enjoyed the short. The night that I watched Terrifier the first time, I went back and watched All Hallows Eve. Just to check it out. The other shorts were okay in that, but the Terrifier one was definitely the fucking crown jewel.
That makes sense considering the guy who made All Hallows Eve the producer was like, "I want to make an anthology film," and he found the Terrifier short, contacted the director Damien Leone. Yes, it is Leone and not Leone. He verified that. If you want to hear a great interview with him on the podcast Who Will Survive, who is also on the Legion podcast network like we are, they not only interviewed him, but they also interviewed David Howard Thornton, who has to go by the Howard because someone else is named David Thornton in the Actors Guild, whatever the fuck it's called. They did a 2-part thing where they interviewed both guys, and it's absolutely wonderful, so go check out Who Will Survive. Horror podcast. I've been on 2 episodes. They're fantastic. With that being said, I forgot what I was. Oh yeah. So the producer contacted Damien, who is named after the Damien from The Omen. He talks about that in the Who Will Survive podcast interview. Check that out. And the guy was like, "Well, instead of finding other shorts, what if you just I've got this other short and you let me you give me some money and let me direct a little bit more stuff." And that's what happened. And then he eventually found the funding to make Terrifier itself a full-fledged movie. And that is what we will be talking about.
Did you find the budget on Terrifier? On the movie?
You know what? I didn't look.
Shit.
Let me see if it's anywhere. I'll have to fucking learn how to Google Terrifier.
It's hard to Google, man. That
Budget.
website's a maze.
Let me see if it's on Wikipedia.
Yeah, because I'm not getting a straight answer in Google.
It is not available that I can see, so I do not have it. So I am the only person here who this is their first time watch. Correct?
Yep.
I'm the lame one. I see.
Yeah, you just don't watch a lot of modern films, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah, but you know what? I took so many fucking notes for this film. Like, Jesus Christ.
Believe it or not, I actually took notes this time.
Like,
believe it or not, I didn't.
That's
no. Well, I haven't
it.
for the past for recently because I've just been that fucking good. But this time I just felt the need to write notes.
All right, fair enough. Well, I guess I'll start off since I've never seen it, and I just want to say, this is fucking good. It's not trying to do anything genius. It is literally just trying to give you a fucking slasher film from the 80s, just updated, just modernized. And I dug it. I dug the huge fucking slasher trope twist of having him use a fucking gun.
I fucking lost my shit the first time that happened, and in a good way. I was like, oh god, it's so funny because he's like, bang, like that's it, simple.
Yeah, it was fucking great. I loved it. I've heard people bitch about, slashers don't use gun. Go fuck yourself. Why not? Why can't they use the gun? Why can't Art the Clown pack a fucking AR-15 and shoot? Okay, I see where this is going. Fucking goddamn it. Man, fuck. Okay, so Heather, you're in Canada. You probably won't make a fucking school getting shot up reference. What did you think of Terrifier?
Oh, I thought the same thing you guys did. I did notes for the first time. Thank God I've listened to your show or I wouldn't know what the fuck I was doing. So that helped a lot.
See, yeah, we can make you a better person.
You did. I've never actually watched a movie and, like, really thought about it. Like, I usually just watch them like, yay, blood, guts, awesome. But
I haven't thought about movies either.
We know, Jay.
But I thought the same thing. I thought it's a great 80s throwback without having a high budget. Some parts I thought, like the after kills, I thought were a little Party City haunted house shitty. But some of the special effects when the kills were happening I thought were pretty decent. And I love the gun part. What I actually love about when he shoots her is that he doesn't have enough bullets. And his expression when he looks down at his gun and he walks back to get more bullets and she's just laying there fucking dying. I thought that scene was excellent. Like the anticipation that she feels, knowing that he's coming back, his expression, the fact that he didn't have to speak throughout this entire movie, and his expression said so much, and he was so creepy and humorous at times. Like, loved it. Just loved it.
All right, Jay.
It was good.
All right.
No, same thing. Yeah, I loved it. I always loved the cheesy throwback practical effect gore movies. The Puppet Master that came out that same year kind of edged this one out of my top 10 for the year, but I really, really enjoyed it. I thought the gore was good. I loved the gun thing. That fucking cracked me up. And it was just all around a pretty fun movie.
It would make my top 10 of 2018 if I've seen 10 2018 movies. Kenneth.
Where do you want me to begin?
This is just initial thoughts, how you felt about the movie. We're about to dig into the whole movie here in a second.
Ooh, I'm gonna dig in deep. I thought it was.
I don't know if that's great. when the shovel hits the dirt, or if that's when he's done with the shovel that he says that.
It's when I'm done with the shovel and I'm on top of the casket. Actually, when I've got the casket open and I'm doing my thing, that's when I'm digging in deep.
Hey guys, what do y'all think music Kenneth would listen to, while he's fucking a corpse?
Inya.
I was gonna say Beach Boys, but okay. I just feel like you would be in a very tropical mood.
I'm thinking more like Inya or Yanni.
What about Boys to Men? I'll Make Love to You. Would that be on your playlist?
I'll make love to you.
I would do that just for the sheer fucking fun. I would want that song playing when I got caught.
I would hate
have to
like
be fucking
Mobbing USA.
dramatic.
I would hate it because I'd get caught when the wrong song come on. It would be like some old Usher song, like it's 7 o'clock on the dot, and I'm like, no, cops, no, let me skip this first. Can we restart this? Let me skip this song. Let me get something good.
Fuck that. This is how we do it.
This is how we do it. It's
Friday
Friday night. I fuck a corpse all night.
There
Yo,
we
his dead
go.
body's real tight. So I asked him my homie. Okay, I'll stop. Okay.
But no,
Will you dig her up?
overall, I thought the movie was great. I mean, I definitely had a few little things that I thought could have done better, but overall, I thought the movie was great. It was definitely a breath of fresh air, and one of my favorite things is already been noted is that art never makes a fucking sound. Never makes a sound. You know what I'm saying? Like
It's a supernatural entity.
that, like the
Yeah,
scene where fucking she stabs him in the fucking foot. And he like makes the motion of screaming and then shoots her a bird. I was like, that is fucking amazing. So yeah,
We're going to get to the supernatural part towards the end, Jay, because I'm not so positive. Okay, so now that we've got initial thoughts off, we're going to kind of go through the movie. So if you have something to say, stop me and say it. The beginning of this movie starts with a very Nightmare on Elm Street beginning, where it shows Art gathering up all of his like knives and shit, kind of like how Freddy is always like building his glove.
You think that was a throwback to that?
I think it was. I know when I was listening to the interview with the actor who played Art, he talked about while he didn't use anything from Freddy in his actual performance, he did feel like with Art's humor, it's very much connected to Freddy or Chucky.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So, and while this is happening, we are watching a interview where this survivor of a massacre has woken up from a coma and her face is fucked up. Her face
Yeah, it is.
You know when incels like talk? That's what her face looks like.
ooh,
It's bad. It's real bad. Oh wait, Heather, do y'all have incels in Canada?
I don't know what an incel. What is incel?
Oh, an incel are those guys who are like, women are whores. Fuck them. Why won't they touch me?
Oh, yes. Of course we have those.
Okay, that's what an incel is. They're terrible people. And I am pro suicide, guys. So you go right at it.
I have a question for you guys actually about her appearance. I don't like the mask or makeup she's wearing. She reminds me of the Elephant Man. And I don't know if you guys thought the same thing or if that's just me. I just thought it was too much. Like, it was unrealistic that someone would survive looking like that.
It didn't remind me of the Elephant Man, because that's actually a realistic thing. But it did, yeah, same thing. I was like, I don't know if what was shown done to her would leave her face like that, and if she would, like, I don't know. Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
it reminded me, honestly. I don't know if y'all have ever seen it. I think I made Jerry sit through it. A movie called Monster Man. It's a movie about a guy, a fucking killer that drives a monster truck. And I love it because it's fucking hilarious. But the guy that drives the monster truck, she looks just fucking like him.
So I just want to say that even though it looks unrealistic, this is what Joseph Mendele in Auschwitz was doing to people, and Unit 731 in Japan was doing to people. This and worse, and the people were living through it in the 40s.
Wow.
All right.
Yeah, if you ever like really want to fuck yourself up, read about like Unit 731.
I don't want to. I don't like real things.
It's fucked up. But yeah. So there's a movie about it that I haven't watched in a long time that I need to rewatch, but it's really good. So yeah, I was fine with the makeup. Is it a little much? Yes. But I mean, this whole movie is a little much. It's kind of, it's kind of the point. So yeah. She says that Art the Clown, the person who did this to her, is not dead because the cops never found a body. That's what the interviewer is saying. The host is saying. But the woman who survived is telling her Art is dead. That she was there, Art is dead. Which is weird. That she would know that Art is dead when she was passed out at that point in the movie.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Damn near
Yeah, it doesn't make any really
incapacitated.
sense.
This whole thing, by the way, is the end of the movie.
It's the twist.
Yeah.
That we didn't explain.
Yeah, you find out at the end of the movie that this chick is Rachel, who is the one who survives at the end of the movie. There you go. But the host, Monica, she's a bitch. After the show, she is talking on the phone and just being a cunt. Keeps hearing things behind her. And it turns out the deformed face girl shows up and puts her fucking thumbs in the eyes of Monica,
Now,
which
that's awesome.
I have to say, Damien, you have to have some Italian in you. Because not since a Lucio Fulci film have I seen a movie that is so obsessed with fucking doing something with the eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Swear to God you are like a fucking Lucio Fulci in this movie. Just want to put it out there. So then we move
out to my balls.
Then we move forward to the past. We see Tara and Dawn. And they are drunk in Halloween costumes. They are about to drive home, but they decide they're too drunk. So Tara's like, well, let's go eat something. And while they're trying to figure all this out, because Dawn needs to rest because she's super drunk, Art the Clown comes walking by and just kind of stares at her. And Dawn talks some shit and fucks around. And they go to the pizza joint. And, of course, who would show up but Art the Clown? Kids, if you're ever in a pizza joint and a clown walks in there, don't have a staring match with him. Don't do it. But if you're like, hey, you know what? I'm going to have a staring contest. At least bring along a dumb friend who is dumb enough to go sit on the clown's lap and take selfie with him and play with his small hat.
I would take a selfie with him and kiss him on his nose.
Hey, it's not the size of the hat. It's how you wear it.
And boy, does he wear it. Let's talk about Art the Clown real quick. So Art the Clown is, the clown makeup is black and white. He wears all black and white. It's very minimalist. But his face, the bone structure and the chin and nose reminds me of like a witch. Like a classic witch face.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I really I love the look of Art. He's very sharp.
I agree.
And he has wonderful tits.
And also,
we're not there yet.
I also like the fact of the way that his lips are painted. He definitely pulls off the. It's like the grin face and the frown face for like theater masks.
Yes. So,
you can really see
not only that,
the irritation.
The inside the mouth, it looks like his gums are painted black and his teeth are like have blood all over them. It is great watching him. Like his facial acting is amazing in this movie. And in the interview with Who Will Survive, he talked about he learned a lot of that from when he was the understudy of a production on Broadway for The Grinch. He was the understudy for The Grinch.
Oh, cool.
That's cool. That makes sense.
Yeah, and so he learned
absolutely.
Because there's a thing going around that he has mime training. He states on that podcast he does not have mime training. He learned it from the guy who was playing the Grinch because he was the understudy. Cool. So I think that it even says that on IMDb. It's wrong. He clearly stated that it's wrong. So yeah, how do y'all feel about Dawn just going and like sitting on his lap and taking a selfie? I was like, bitch, you are crazy.
I know some girls that
drunk
would do
people
that.
do some stupid things sometimes.
I mean, yeah, I might get drunk and blow a dude behind a Kmart, but sit on a clown's lap and take a selfie? Get the fuck out of here.
I believe it. She's a good-looking girl, and girls get hammed, and they do stupid shit. And, like, that scene is actually one of the reasons why I like this movie so much, because he comes in, and he's so fucking creepy just staring at them. And I think I don't know if you guys have been in this situation, but I think most people have been in a situation where you're out somewhere and someone just fucking creeps you out and they make your skin crawl. And they're just staring at you, or they're there. And I love the interaction. And when she went over to sit on his lap, I was like, holy fuck, what's going to happen? Like, I love that scene. The first time I watched it, the anticipation killed me, and I could see a chick doing that for sure.
Fun fact, if you've never been in the situation where someone has creeped you out in public, it's because you're the person creeping someone out.
Damn it!
I guess I'm pretty creepy.
Yep. I was saying that one for both my co-hosts.
That explains why they won't let me at the one anymore.
I get creepy pretty regularly. Like, people tell me that I'm creepy all the time, and I'm just like, listen to my podcast. You can see my personality.
Yeah, that's not gonna fucking help the situation. But yeah, Heather is right. I have known some really hot chicks who would get drunk and they would do whatever the fuck they want because they think they're untouchable in that moment. And to be fair, she wasn't that much of a dick to Art.
No.
I mean, the hat thing was a little much, but I think that was on accident. I think she was just drunk.
I think she was going to, like, put it on or something like that, like, take it off of him and put it on. But, yeah, I mean, she could have been one of those chicks that's just fucking absolutely mean and shit like that, and she really wasn't, you know what I'm saying? So I agree with that she was actually pretty cool about the whole thing, and she was actually getting her friend, who came off, even though she was rightfully creeped out, she still, she was just like, hey, kind of inadvertently, in not so many words, being like, quit being a bitch.
Yeah. So Art decides to go get a quarter off another table and get a ring out of the little gumball machine.
Really,
I thought it was cute.
Love.
He really is. Art is an incel. So he goes over there and I'm just kidding, because incels, the reason you dicks, I'm sorry, I'm on a little tirade today because they irritate me. The reason you can't get chicks is because you literally just don't go out. That guy who fucking made that YouTube video in his car the day he shot like 6 people and killed them because he was like, women don't love me and I'm gonna get revenge. All his friends afterwards were just like, it's weird how much he talked in those YouTube videos. He didn't talk in real life at all. That's why you don't get you literally just have to go out there and talk to him, because I promise you, even nerds are getting laid. Go to a Comic-Con, dress in something nerdy, you will get laid. And if you can't, there's prostitutes. They're out there. I don't care if it's legal. You are already doing shit that's illegal by downloading anti-feminist porn or whatever you're fucking doing.
Hey man, I know for a fact there are prostitutes in Canada. I know this.
Yes, there are prostitutes in Canada.
I mean, go to Toronto, places like that. There are definitely.
They're just not in Toronto, Kenneth. But yeah, they're.
I mean, I'm just saying.
They used to be in
Ontario,
Toronto.
wherever.
They all left Toronto because Drake sucked up all the wealth.
Oversaturated market. They just had to.
Drake was sucking everything.
Las Vegas,
right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, you may pay $5,000 for a couple of hours in Vegas, but it's there.
Oh, Kayla just recently went to Vegas with her sister because she won a bet.
Damn, what bet did she win?
So my mother-in-law is very notorious for procrastinating, and we recently moved her from one side of a mountain to be closer to all of us. And her sister wasn't going to help because last time we helped her move to where she was, it was a huge pain in the ass. So she said, I bet you can't move mom in X amount of time. And if you do, I'll give you a trip to Vegas. And so we got her moved in time. So she won a trip to Vegas. But she had told me a story about how a prostitute was hanging out with her at one of the clubs and like her pimp was buying them drinks and stuff.
Hell yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I believe that in Vegas.
Yeah. But that's the thing. They're out there. So if you are watching the Elliot Rodger videos and you are identifying with him, stop.
Yes.
Turn that salty chip on your shoulder into a salty warm paste. Okay.
I'm an extremely introverted person, and I have no interest whatsoever in going out and shooting up fucking churches or whatever else. And I'm a gun nut too.
Yeah. Fucking, it makes no sense. What's worse is Elliot Rodger, like, he was rich. He had nice clothes. He had a beautiful fucking car. His dad was in the fucking movie industry.
I'm sorry. If you got a shit ton of money, there is no reason why you shouldn't be able to get laid.
He's not even that bad. He's not even that bad looking.
I mean, it may sound sexist or whatever, but at this, we live in a day and age where sex sells.
If you've got money, you can get laid.
Yeah, exactly. In one form or another, you can get laid if you've got money. Money in the new millennium, money is more attractive than anything else.
Yeah.
I mean, not for me. I fucking rubber band $100 to my dick and still couldn't get laid. It's awful.
Dude, if you had a fucking $100 rubber band to your dick, I'd let you fuck me.
I one time tried to convince a chick that my cum had the same effect as cocaine and couldn't get laid.
Did you try to shoot it up her nose?
Yes.
Did she believe you?
No, she did not believe me.
Oh.
But she did give me a hand job out of pity. So, you know what?
Hey, that win-win, man.
It was a classic rating of 7.
Humor is just as attractive as money. Look at Pete Davidson. He's ugly as shit, but he's funny as hell.
I don't know. He has
now he's banging Kate Beckinsale.
He has a cute coke binged out Colombian version of The Cure look about him.
Either way,
he's not good looking. It's
Tommy Lee with a tan,
humor or it's money. Kenneth and Jay are 100% right.
Okay,
like that.
He's fucking funny.
He's not good looking. He looks like really scary looking actually. So yeah, but if you're funny, you can get girls. Or you have money, Kenneth is right. You can get girls.
Yep.
Yeah,
and both.
Or say this. Yeah, it's true.
And Art has both of those because he buys her a ring. It's not his money, but technically the money was in his hand.
And he's a clown, so people automatically think he's funny.
Yes. So he gives her the ring, puts it on her finger, and then he kind of walks to the back. Next thing we know, the owner is kicking him out. And just like Dawn, I was like, he jacked off in there. He came everywhere.
Well, he did something.
Okay, so I was really grossed out by that. I don't like poop. I am not German at all.
Unscheiße, yeah, unscheiße.
I didn't like that there was poop. His name was written in poop.
And it was like, I would have been like nuts and stuff in it too. They went all out.
Yeah, come on, man, just do it in jizz like fucking Itchy the Killer. God damn it.
I actually had a separate
this situation twice in real life. Once when I was in the children's ward of the children's psych ward, kid was freaking out. They put him in what they called the quiet room, which is a small padded closet with a like porthole style window, and he shit in his hand and smeared it all over the window. The hallway stunk like shit.
Porthole or glory hole?
Porthole. It was covered with glass. You couldn't stick anything in it.
Oh.
Disgusting. And then once while I was working at Walmart, I was working in the electronics department, decided to go to the bathroom, open the stall, and there's literal shit on the wall.
Oh.
Like whoever did this had to have had diarrhea and have been like twerking at the same time. It's the only explanation. So I immediately closed it, walked out, and said, "Hey, we need maintenance in the bathroom."
Wow.
That is the effects of the combination of the shits and the hover. The shits and the hover.
It was on the fucking walls, like all 3 of them. I don't understand.
I'm sorry, my stomach is starting to like get really fucked up here recently, and I have learned the art of going in a public bathroom. I mean, damn, sometimes you just got to go and it happens.
So, Heather, what were you going to say? Was it shit related also? Because I really want to move behind.
Shit related, actually.
Okay, fuck.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. I was just going to say I had a separate category for the bathrooms in this movie because every single bathroom was fucking disgusting. And that bathroom in the pizzeria where he shits all over the place was grossly real. Like, it made me, like, look at it and go, look, so I thought he jacked off, too. That's what I thought happened. And then when I saw that, I was like, holy fuck, this is disgusting.
Yeah,
like,
every bathroom
wow, they did a good job of grossing you out.
Yeah, every bathroom in Florida looks like that. Fun fact.
No, it doesn't. I've
yes,
been to Florida.
No, it's true.
It's true.
Who are you going to believe, an American or Canadian? Okay? Who lies?
I don't
Just
know.
saying.
When I was in Florida,
you keep it up, and
there's
going to be
like that.
You keep talking, and there's going to be a wall built up north. Okay? Fucking White Walkers.
North, huh?
Yeah.
I don't know. In this case, I might believe the Canadian because I don't know. For some reason, I've been really intrigued by Canada over like the past year.
Oh, we can talk offline, Kenneth. Anything you want to know.
Whoa.
Anything?
All he wants to know is
anything. What
can
else
he
would you
have
like to
his
know?
guns? That's all he cares about.
Yeah, my buddies have guns. I've been to gun ranges. Yeah, we have guns. That's a big misconception.
Yeah.
We have guns. We just don't. We can't carry.
Y'all just don't shoot up schools.
Well, no, we've had school shootings, just not as many as the
Oh,
United States.
okay. Well, all right. We're not a political show. We won't get into this. One day, maybe we'll do a porn and taxes episode 2 for anyone who ever heard the first one. They go back to.
Wait. Stop. Quick question. All right, honestly.
Is it poop related?
Yes.
God damn it.
So, honestly, everybody here, what would have been if you had actually went in this bathroom? What would have been more disgusting, shit or jizz?
Shit.
Shit is more disgusting.
Okay.
Cum would have been that
I've
bad.
wanted to do a bathroom cover. We just covered this.
Who
Shit
hasn't
is
randomly
I'm
had?
sorry. In this situation, I don't know, because either way, I would have turned around and walked out. But I don't know what I would have got the shivers more by, seeing somebody's nut on the fucking toilet or seeing somebody's shit on the fucking toilet.
Listen,
Cum doesn't
you
smell
can
as
still
bad
go
as
to the
shit.
bathroom.
That's
with
true.
jizz. You're not staying in there if it's covered in shit.
And
Yeah.
yeah, you're right. And generally, sane people don't swallow shit.
Yeah, and
Generally
I mean,
speaking, yes.
and who hasn't had a little cum on them in a bathroom before?
Exactly.
Not a
Yeah.
big deal.
So true. All right, I got
some
you.
on
All
me
right,
right now.
continue.
Okay, so Tara and Dawn end up leaving, and I want to say when they throw the ring off, that 25-cent ring sounds a lot like metal.
It does
Maybe
actually. I thought the same thing.
Band.
That was weird. It should have been there. Anyway, so they go back to the car to find that a tire has been slashed. So they call Tara's sister, Victoria. That was her name. To come and get them. And while they're taking care of that, we go back to the restaurant to see that the owner, Steve, has been decapitated and turned into a jack-o'-lantern. And
I've actually got this wrote down in my notes. That scene where the guy is cleaning up the shit and he's yelling to his boss, and all you see is the jack-o'-lantern on the counter. I really, really like shots like that, because that shot has got the feel of the 80s movies, but it also, I don't know what it is about shots like that, where it's like you've got somebody in the background trying to talk to somebody in the foreground, and that person that they're trying to talk to isn't there, but you see something like a jack-o'-lantern or something that's got that very, very little bit of activity. It's got a very visceral kind of tension for me when I watch shit like that, and shots like that to me are very, very throwbacky to the old movies, but they still even now convey a different form of tension than newer slasher movies and stuff like that don't really have shots like that.
so
Well said, Kenneth. Well said.
you know how I like to bring random information that I have dug up in my research before we do this show. I have one in response to that. That jack-o'-lantern head was not in the original script. They did not originally shoot it. It was done after the movie was done because they wanted something else in that scene. They wanted more gore in that scene. So apparently it was originally just, they didn't specify originally what it was. So I don't know if it was originally just a decapitated head and then they CGI'd the jack-o'-lantern effects, or if it was something else completely. But the jack-o'-lantern head was added afterwards with CGI.
Well, I was actually talking about when they showed the actual literal jack-o'-lantern, but I really dig the head. I like the fact that when you look at it close, the flames that are going in the eyes, you can see some of the this is the reason why I don't think it's CGI, is because you can see some of the liquid from like the fake blood or something like that boiling behind it.
Oh, well, according to the director, he added it afterwards with CGI.
I don't know. Well, then if he put that in there, it looks really good.
Yeah, I mean, there's a chance it could be because he is really good at special effects. Also, like he not only wrote and directed his stuff, but he does the special effects. So it could have been half like real special effects with CGI to spruce it up. So the other dude gets his hand chopped as he reaches for a phone. His face stabbed. Multiple stabs to the chest, stabs in the eyes, lots of eye shots here. Lucio Fulci, long live Italian horror. And that tongue flap really grossed me out.
I actually really like that too. I got a note written down about that whole scene. I really like that because in that particular instance, when he's stabbing the dude in the face, I was on first glance when I'm watching this, I was expecting something that was way over the top. You know, like in the background, you can see the deli meat cutting machine and shit like that, almost like a Poultry kind of thing. At least I think that's what that movie I'm thinking about is, where they got all the kitchen shit happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was Poultry
monsters.
Yeah. And that's what I was expecting, but it wasn't. The brutality was taken to a level that was a lot, almost like more realistic. I mean, even though the gore was really there, but even the blood flying and shit like that, which is less realistic, but the brutality of it to me was more realistic, because in a situation where you've got a guy like that, he's not going to go for any of the fancy shit of throwing somebody's face on a deli thing, or fucking throwing him in the fryer or the oven or something like that. He's just going to stab the shit out of him. And that's what Art was doing. I mean, he was just stabbing this dude in the fucking face. And I actually really, really liked the feel of that, because it was a lot more brutal and realistic from an emotional standpoint.
Very true. I agree with you. It was very well done. There's it's a scene. One thing I like about Art in this whole movie is they do a really good balance between like him doing what an actual killer would do, which was get it done right then and there, and between giving us unique, inventive, and disturbing kills also, where, you know, like the big kill we'll get to, obviously, you know, and the other one, the two like really big kind of fucked up kills are the more artistic, creative ones that you're kind of like, would he have had the time to do that, compared to like when he just stabs the shit out of a guy who had to clean up his shit. Which, by the way, Art, you are just mean. He had to clean up your shit. and the last thing he did on this fucking godforsaken planet, and you killed him. He cleaned up the shit of his own murderer. Art, you're fucked up, homie. Okay. So Tara's got a pee, so she goes into the rat-infested apartments with what was his name? Mike the Exterminator. And they go down there so she can go pee. And Dawn is back in the car listening to the Miles County Special Report, where they talk about the pizza place and the two guys being killed by a tall clown in black and white. And then Art gets in the fucking car. Everyone saw this coming, still was fucking amazing. Right?
That's the reason why, even when you're sitting by yourself and your friend runs in somewhere, you lock the fucking doors.
Yep.
Well,
I don't know why she didn't lock those doors.
She's drunk, probably.
She's dumb.
Well,
I find it ironic that the reason why they didn't drive off to begin with is because they were trying to be safety conscious, or her friend was trying to be safety conscious and not let her drive drunk, and it put them in a more fucked up situation. I find that very funny.
The lesson here is drive drunk, you'll die anyway.
Yeah.
I
mean, when it really comes down to it, what would have been worse, dying in a car crash or fucking goddamn? Obviously, we know what happens to her later.
That's true. So Tara hears some cat meows, so she goes looking for a cat, which, you know what? I would probably go looking for a cat also. So can't say anything there. She bumps into a crazy cat lady who has a doll that she calls her baby named Emily. That's sweet. And Tara's very smart because she plays into the crazy lady's fantasy of being a new attendant and about them doing laundry for, later. But she's got to go pay her first month's rent because she doesn't want to be late. And punctuality is the thief of time. And I really like that line. I'm sure it's from somewhere. I'm sure he didn't create it. And I'll probably Google it later to find out. But I'll
Google it right now.
You Google that. And while you're doing that, guess who's waiting at the door for Tara? Art the Clown.
See, I would have avoided all this by just pissing on the sidewalk.
Well, you know what? Dawn told her to do that, but she didn't want to do it. If she would have just listened to Dawn all fucking night, none of these things would have happened.
Exactly.
And they say blondes are dumb.
And I'd have drove that motherfucking car on the rim.
Comes from the 18th century poet Edward Young.
See, poetry is still relevant. So, guys, please read my poetry. It's really good.
I love your poetry.
Yeah, I know. I'll send you your money for saying that.
Hey, but don't worry. People will buy our book. At least 2 of them.
Yeah, at least 2 people will buy our poetry books that me and Jay are going to put out once I get back on it. Fuck, I think I'm finally over all this stupid health shit.
Yay.
I think I've figured it out now, and I think I'm good going forward, so I'll be able to get everything back on track. But people who can't get things back on track is Tara. Tara is hiding between some cars, and the soundtrack right here. Okay, I'm not good with soundtracks. I'm not.
Me either.
I admit that all the time. The soundtrack for this movie was excellent. I loved it for the most part. I think there's one place where I thought it was really bad, but when she is at the car, hiding in the cars, and Art is looking for her, there is a tone in the soundtrack that is straight up mimicking the Halloween theme from John Carpenter's Halloween.
Yeah, I caught that.
Also, the guy who did the music for this is in the Marilyn Manson band. I can't remember his name. So, there you go.
You don't know who he is?
The director said he was in the band Marilyn Manson. I'm sure I can find out real quick if I go to cast and crew.
I always hate it when people are hiding behind cars that they don't think to fucking stand behind the tire so the person on the other side can't look underneath and see their feet.
I don't know why anybody looks at it anyway. Be just as quick to just peek around the side.
It just bothers me. It really does, because in just a few minutes you see her drop down and do exactly what he could have done. She's looking up underneath the car. And then when you're laid down and you're looking up underneath a car and you watch somebody else walk around, then you have the time that it takes for you to get up off the ground and then run away. At that point, you could have been stabbed, shot, beaten in the head, whatever, skeeted on from a distance.
Okay. Paul Wiley is the guitarist for Marilyn Manson.
Oh, okay.
Unless it's Johnny Depp. Sometimes Johnny Depp is the guitarist for Marilyn Manson.
No, that's just Johnny Depp acting like Paul Wiley. Because he's that good of an actor.
Wow.
He even convinced everyone that he beat his wife when he had evidence that she beat him. He is that good of an actor.
Me too.
Yeah.
We still don't forgive him for that Willy Wonka movie, but still.
Amber Heard is so hot.
What?
I said Amber Heard is so hot.
Johnny Depp's hot.
I'd really like to see that. How come that sex tape has not gotten leaked?
For real?
Where
We got Ray J and Kim.
It's not an actual sex
We got
tape.
Tommy Lee and
like hitting him
Pamela
in the head with a
Anderson.
phone over and over again.
God damn it. That would have been awesome. That would have been a good thing to see right now.
Oh my god. Okay. Art shows back up and stabs her in the fucking leg multiple times. She tries to stab him but fucks up, and he of course tries to put her thumb in her eyes, much like the deformed survivor did to the host, which is very interesting. But guys, this one right here, I think it is worst choke scene ever. If you look at this scene, Art's thumbs are not even touching her neck. He is nowhere near to touching her windpipe, and it is either one of two things: a major fuck up, or it's Art like scaring her for his own shits and giggles. I'll leave it up to y'all to decide which one it is.
Maybe he thought she was into that kind of thing.
I think it was more them trying to be safe.
No, but that's still a fuck up. That regardless of it's them trying to be safe, if I can clearly tell the thumbs are not even touching the neck, it's a fuck up.
See, what should have happened is he should have got the webbing between his index finger and his thumb on both sides lined up and wrapped right on her throat. Then you can squeeze with the fingers on the sides and make it look like you're actually fucking choking somebody when you're not doing it. And then you can, in certain situations, you can push in with the webbing and, kind of give that feeling. But the grabbing on the sides is what gives the illusion that you're actually choking.
Fair enough. But I just want to point out, this is one thing, much like later when Tara hits Art with a 2x4 like Hacksaw Jim Duggan, fucking
Good reference, Jerry.
That, like, literally you can tell she misses by a fucking mile.
Yeah, well, at that point she did just watch her friend get hacked up.
Yeah, she did, but she's also missed him by, like, that has nothing to do with the fact that in the movie, that hit Art. As I'm watching it, it did not come fucking near him.
2 seconds.
2 seconds?
Yeah,
How long I last in bed? What is Jay's attention span?
I'm fixing to watch this.
Oh, okay. So yeah, it just like a few fuck ups like that in the movie that aren't big. They're kind of like you could easily not even see them and be fine. But it's just I want to say that, and I want to say something else, ladies, gentlemen, kids of all ages. If you're being chased by a killer, don't put down your fucking weapon ever. For some reason, Tara sets down her weapon, and I don't know why. But at this point, they jump over and go to her sister, Victoria, who is driving and okay, I'm going to rant again. I'm very ranty this episode. Pet peeve in movies. Stop fake drinking. I can tell when you have no liquid in your cup. The worst fake drinking I've ever seen in a fucking movie goes to Victoria. Because holy shit, there's no weight in that cup. She sips it like she's sucking down fucking air. It's awful. I fucking hate it. Put something in your goddamn cup. There's no way you had to do that scene so many fucking times that it would kill you to drink a little bit of water or coffee. You probably need it anyway. You're parched doing all this acting. So goddamn it, stop it. So the front door's chained. She can't get in. So then we go back to Tara.
The drinking scene wasn't that bad.
It was fucking awful, Kenneth. Don't protect her. Don't you dare do it.
Goddamn, I might as well give her a little bit, considering that how horrible she's gonna look in a little while.
I don't care. You know what? If she learned how to drink properly as an actress, maybe that wouldn't happen.
I don't understand why they wouldn't just give her like water.
I know. I can't stand it. I see it all the time in TV and movies where people drink out of stuff and you can just tell there's nothing there. It's like you're fucking pantomiming it. So Tara finds the exterminator, but he has her earbuds in, so he can't hear her. Art grabs her and ejects her in the neck. She wakes up tied to a chair with tape over her mouth, and goddamn Art is being creepy as fuck.
Best scene in the movie. That whole scene is awesome.
So Art is grabbing through a bag that's filled with weapons, and he grabs a saw. It's like a little hand saw.
Hacksaw.
A hacksaw.
Is it going to be doing some hacking?
I have it written down as hacksaw. There we go. I'm not super dumb, just a little dumb. So, before I saw this movie, I've seen the Scooby-Doo meme where Daphne is the one that's chained up and cut down the fucking middle. So I knew what was coming. Even with knowing what's coming, I was like, okay, let's see if this lives up. God damn, that music with the reveal of Dawn, this is fucking brutal. Her shaking, his fucking face. Dawn died an amazing death. This is the death of 2018.
It's really good.
This is one of the best deaths I have ever seen. I was sitting there going, how are they going to pull this off? There's no way they're going to show this. And they do a great job. They show it from the back, because showing it from the front would probably be a little too much. And they show it from the back, and this whole thing looks fucking great. Obviously, it's unrealistic. Me and Heather were talking earlier how, like, how fast he gets through her, and, you know, how long she actually survives. He gets pretty much all the way to her goddamn chin before she fucking dies.
Oh yeah, it's super unrealistic, but it's just gorgeous to watch.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I was just gonna say that I think for me what actually did it in the most was the girl watching her. Like her friend watching her getting sawed to fucking bits. Like I just think if that was me, I think that'd be worse, is watching my friend. Obviously, you're in pain, clearly, and it's unrealistic. But watching someone be murdered like that, like, fuck, that's...
Oh yeah.
That's pretty fucking heavy. That's why I like that scene so much. It's just good all around for a great horror slasher.
Yeah, it's one of the things I like about when we did the movie Opera, because in Opera the chick gets like trapped and has to watch all these people die, and the guy puts needles under her eyes so she can't close her eyes. She has to watch them die, but their deaths are nowhere near as brutal as this.
Yeah.
And the I gotta give him credit. The guy that did the movie, the special effects and everything, the body that was hanging up that they made looked so realistic. I mean, it was because a lot of times when you see things like that, there's actually two instances where I think the practical effects of the corpses look amazing, and this is one of them. I mean, obviously, you know, like you said, I honestly will not get into the realism of this, but the way the skin looked and everything, it looked real.
Yeah, I think anyone who's trying to talk about the realism of this scene needs to just get the fuck out. Like, honestly, this is the point in time where you just go, this is a slasher movie. This is fucking amazing.
Yep.
Right. And I mean, the point that I was trying to make, I'm sorry, Jay. The point that I was trying to make is that a lot of times when you see them like that, even with, you know, the unrealistic effect of it, it looks like a mannequin hanging upside down or something like that. This did not look like that. This looked like a corpse.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked it. I really enjoyed it. It was awesome.
What's your question, Jay?
Have any of you seen the movie Bone Tomahawk?
I want to, but I haven't seen it yet. I have it on Blu-ray. I have not watched it yet.
Okay.
I hear it's amazing.
I haven't seen it, no.
Okay, never mind. Then nobody can answer my question.
I know, it's got Kurt Russell on it.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, no one has.
Okay. Well,
Jay's the only cool person here.
Yeah,
clearly.
Well, I love all that guy's movies.
Yeah, Kurt Russell's amazing. Definitely top 5 actor.
Oh, the director, Craig, whatever the fuck his name is. He did Brawl in Cell Block 99. He wrote Puppet Master, The Littlest Reich, Bone Tomahawk, and just recently Dragged Across Concrete.
Yeah. Puppet Master Littlest Reich was amazing. Tara gets out of her tape, though, and does one of my favorite things. Bitch slaps Art. I love a good bitch slap. She bitch slaps Art, and then she is able to stab him in the back, so he's been stabbed twice now. She then finds a 2x4 and starts fake hitting him very badly. In fact, the whole scene right here feels really odd to me. I did not like the scene of her hitting him with the 2x4. Her screaming at him, it felt like bad acting. This is a point where the music did not fit for me. The hit just was off. But it doesn't matter. I almost felt like this scene was bad on purpose to throw me off because I was so shocked that Art pulled out a gun and shot her. It was like that scene in Indiana Jones where the guy has a sword and he's doing all that crazy shit. And Indiana Jones, instead of grabbing his whip, pulls out a gun and shoots him. It's like the horror version of that. Art is Indiana Jones, is what I'm saying. But the whole beating him with a 2x4, that whole scene, I fucking hated. But it's so made up with the fact that he shoots her in the leg. I was so thrown off. It is my favorite scene in the movie.
So good.
I've actually got a note right here that says she fucked up with that trying to be a badass shit.
I absolutely hated the part when she kept goading him to get up. I thought that was so fucking stupid. Really?
I get it that she's angry because she just watched her friend die and she wants to kill him. And I could see someone doing that. This Tara does look like if they remade Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, The Dream Warriors, we know what role she's going to play. Someone just give her the mohawk and the 2 switchblades. I could see her doing that, but I don't know, the scene just didn't feel right to me, so I didn't like it. But like I said, shooting her in the leg, then shooting her in the stomach, lower side ribs, I couldn't tell. Then he shoots her in the cheek and runs out of bullets. And his reaction to running out of bullets is fucking fantastic. I do have to say, very weak gun though. Art, I don't know, I kind of figured you would have a stronger gun because of that hole you put into her cheek. I mean, yeah, it's big enough for me to stick my dick in, but that's not saying much.
That's actually a 1911, and it shoots a 45 caliber bullet.
That doesn't tell me much. Should the hole be bigger?
A
or...
45 caliber bullet is the end of the bullet is as big around as my fucking bird finger.
Okay, so not very big.
Yeah, that actually is very big because a 9mm is about the end of my pinky.
Yeah.
And a 9mm is what generally most people carry.
So should the hole in her face be bigger?
No.
Oh. Okay, so it's still small.
Generally what would happen is the entry wound would be smaller and the exit wound would be bigger.
Oh.
Why is that, Kenneth?
Huh?
Why is that?
Because when a bullet goes through a body, it causes impact shock, and usually, especially if it's a hollow point, when it hits, it mushrooms, and when it mushrooms, everything that it hits after that is because it's not sharp and just cutting through anymore. And so it mushrooms out, and it's like a bigger piece of metal that's pulling as it goes through. The bad thing about this is that if he'd actually shot her in the cheek with a 45, she would have died from that first one because it blew the back of her head out.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay. So Art has to go get more bullets, and as he's going up there, Tara's sister arrives and calls up Dawn. Sends Dawn a text that Art responds to saying, Tara is sick, come around the back. And he does a selfie with Dawn, which is fucking wonderful.
Amazing.
The humor there was fantastic. It was like, okay, we've talked before about how I don't like movies breaking the fourth wall. This is how you break the fourth wall. Mm-hmm. This is how you do it in a way that winks to the audience without looking directly into the camera. Ironically, he was looking directly into a camera.
But it still worked.
It does.
It worked.
It's so good. So he comes back, shoots Tara in the forehead, and then just unloads like 6 more times in her face.
Well, if he reloaded, he might as well use them.
Yeah. But unfortunately, the cat lady walked in on it. So let's talk about this. A slasher using a gun. The great debate. The biggest gun debate you could ever have in the world is, should slashers use a gun?
Slashers should use whatever weapons they want to use. I mean, ideally, you want it to be up close and personal just for the entertainment. But if you've got a movie that is basically a slasher, but the guy's using a gun the whole time, as long as it still has the atmosphere and the other stuff surrounding, classic slasher tropes, I would be okay with that.
Yeah, I like the way it's used in this one because it kind of brings a realism to Art, because I feel like he only uses it when he just has no other way. But like, if you could do a shitty movie like Nail Gun Massacre, where he gets to use a nail gun, why can't Art use a Bush did 9/11 or whatever Kenneth called it?
1911. I actually really like the gun. I believe it or not, it's one of those things. Aside from the fact that I'm a gun person, I think it's really, I think it's interesting because it, like Jerry said, it's kind of like this last resort, and it almost was like, okay, it brings more of a realism to him, because it's like, this is something that I can see an actual person that is just at this current moment. He's been doing all this shit to fuck with these chicks. He's done hacked up this one girl. He's trying to kill this other one. She done beat the shit out of him. And he's just like, you know what? Fuck you. I'm done with this fucking shit. Bang. And
exactly.
I really dig it.
Heather, how do you feel about slashers using guns?
I think it's fine. And sometimes I feel like people just debate things to make themselves look really smart. Like, I don't see why someone would care if there's a gun in a slasher or not. I agree with Jay. As long as someone's fucking dying, who gives a shit how they die? Like, that's the point of a slasher film.
So, like I say, I wouldn't want, like John Wick is not a slasher because he kills a bunch of people.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's got to have the atmosphere and the attitude and everything else. But I would honestly be okay if there was a slasher and his weapon was a fucking pistol that he, like, literally, you don't have to have a knife, no rake, a shovel. as long
A
as there's some
pitchfork?
kind of inventiveness to it, I would absolutely be okay with somebody killing 10 to 12 people with a gun for an hour and a half.
I
I
think
would like variety, though. I think if it was just a gun, it would get boring to me. I would want to see a gun
I
and
think
something
you could
else,
do it
right?
in inventive ways.
Mm.
yeah, he can put a bayonet on it.
Well, that's expensive.
I think people get hung up on the word slasher, and they're like, oh, it's not a slasher because with a gun he's not slashing people. But honestly, if I watch a slasher where the guy only kills people by suffocation, whether it's choking or a bag or whatever, like it's still a slasher to me. Like, yes, slasher was originally done because it was mostly using slashing weapons, but that doesn't mean it has to be a slashing weapon. No one's complained about anyone dying from a pitchfork besides Kenneth, and that's just the logistics of it, not that they used an actual pitchfork. Which is a complete stabbing weapon. So I think people just get hung up on that. Yes, it would be kind of dull if someone just used that, but fuck, My Bloody Valentine from 1981, a guy died by a fucking nail gun to the head. That's a gun. Suck a dick.
Mm-hmm.
I also think that it's got a little bit to do with the level of realism. I mean, because you look back on, most of the things like we don't have, when it really comes down to it, in a fictional sense, we don't have a lot of movies that solely focus on like somebody that does nothing but strangle people. We've got movies that are based on serial killers in real life, and we've got stuff like Henry of a Portrait of a Serial Killer or something like that is directly based on things like that. But we don't have one where it's strictly that. And I think the reason, a lot of times, the reason why people kind of stray away from that when they're making movies that are supposed to be in the quote unquote fun genre like slasher movies is because even though we can sit here and we can wax intellectual back and forth on realism and things like that, when it really comes down to it, how much realism are you wanting to put in a movie that you're making? Because when you get past a point to something that we see every day, like things like, the Son of Sam or the Zodiac Killer or things like that, these guys that used guns, in everyday things, we do get to a level where it becomes, okay, this movie's not going to make any money, or this movie's going to hit people from a different level. And I also think that's the reason why you don't often see things like bayonets and stuff like that unless you're in war movies and shit like that, because of the fact that this is shit that happens every day in places. Just like you'll never really see a movie directly based on, unless it's something that's supposed to be historically factual or something like that, that's directly based on from the fun of the killer part of it from a school shooting. You're never going to see anything like that because at some point you step over a line. And yes. I think that's the reason why we don't see slashers with guns and shit like that, because that steps over that line at some point.
Yeah, that is why you'll never get a movie based off that Stephen King book that he wrote about school shootings.
Oh man, I'd love a fucking.
You'll never get anything from like Columbine or anything, or the Virginia Tech shooter.
No. Maybe I'm just about to make my own movie then.
And speaking of Henry Portrait of the Serial Killer, which is slightly based off Henry Lee Lucas, will someone please make me a Henry Lee Lucas movie that talks about his whole Hand of Death satanic cult, because that shit is hilarious and I need to see that. So someone make that happen. I know it's all bullshit, but make it happen anyway. We let him lie for cigarettes throughout his entire jail thing. Let's keep the lie up. Crazy Cat Lady goes to tell the Exterminator Mike guy, but she just thinks that she's flat out crazy. So Art pulls a cannibal corpse and smashes dude in the face with a hammer.
Yeah.
Steals Crazy Cat Lady's doll and is
stroking it.
Yes. Just hanging out with Emily.
It's fucking creepy. I like that. Like he takes I have a feeling that he knows about her mental illness and her thinking he's just fucking with her, and he completely knows what she thinks about that doll, and he's treating it as if it's something that can actually be killed because it fucks with her so much.
Yeah, I'm not sure how he knows, But
Well, it looks like they live in the same apartment.
I don't know if Art was there because he was walking towards that with his bag, and the movie shows him packing up his bag
from a long night of trick or treating.
I actually really like the fact of how much this bum lady is like engulfed in her delusion. To the point of where she's almost willing to sacrifice her own life for this doll. I really
it's not a delusion.
Right. You know what I'm saying? I really, really dig it. I really like that part of the movie because it brings this weird seriousness to it. I mean, it's almost like it's hard for me to describe. It's very, very odd that, you know, she's willing to give her life for this, and then as Jay was putting it, I mean, he just fucking exploits it. To me, that whole scene right there was fucking wild. I was so into that.
Just to add on that, Kenneth, it's emotional. When I watched that scene, I really felt emotional. I felt, holy shit, this guy is smart enough to know that this woman is mentally ill and doesn't understand what's going on. And her emotions towards that doll and then towards him when she, like, cradles him. And, yeah, I agree. It definitely pulled a whole different scene in that movie that was different from anything else we had seen to that point.
Yeah, it was fucking crazy. It's very difficult for me to express how I was feeling, and I think Heather hit it the nail on the head with the emotional. It was one of those things where I'm just like, when I was watching it the first time, I was just kind of holding my chin and looking at it, and I was just like, damn, that's fucked up.
And my favorite thing about this scene is actually when Art goes to her. Hot air comes out of a pipe at the same time, so it's one of the. It's kind of cool that the one time Art makes a sound, it's almost covered up by the hissing of a pipe.
Yeah, right.
And so crazy cat lady is like, is there kindness in you somewhere in your heart? Have you ever felt a mother's touch? Can you show no mercy? And she touches his face, and he kind of reacts like a cat does, where when you go to like rub a cat, it'll like turn its head into your paw. If you have a cat, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
What? Don't do that. Don't say that, because we're gonna end up trending on Twitter like fucking Shane Dawson for fucking making fucking cat jokes. We do not promote the harming of cats. It is against my religion. It is against the tenets of Satanism. And
Satan loves cats.
I don't know why you're laughing. That is 100% a tenet of Satanism.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Is it really?
true.
Yes,
Yeah,
I am
really?
not.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Almost
Wow.
every sect, whether it's LaVey Satanism or the Satanic Temple, we are not allowed to hurt children or animals. If we hurt an animal, we can't hurt an animal. We can eat animals. We can wear their hides. Like, you can use them for proper means, but you cannot hurt. I'm not allowed to just go run around and punch a dog in the face.
So you can't hunt for game. It has to be right?
Yeah, you can hunt for a purpose.
Yeah.
But you can't just be like, I fucking hate pigeons and I'm gonna fucking go shoot a pigeon.
Yeah, it's almost
Unless
like
you eat the pigeon. Is that okay if you eat the pigeon?
Yeah, if you eat the pigeon, then
as
okay.
long as you're not
That's just called
cruel.
squab.
As long as you're not cruel, it's almost just like paganism. I mean, you don't. As long as you're not cruel to the animal. I mean, obviously, when you take it for food, you try to make it as quick and as painless as possible.
Yeah.
And
so
as we're sitting here talking about this, I'm looking at my fat ass fucking cat just pass the fuck out on my bed. I mean, he don't know what the hell is going on.
Oh, it's Fatty Cat. I love Fatty Cat.
Yeah, he is.
But yeah, so as a Satanist, I cannot do that. Plus, I love cats. So if I find out you've harmed a cat in any way, you are fucking dead to me. We will never talk again. You are cut from my life.
Yeah, I do not condone it in any way, shape, form, or fashion either. I am not about cruelty to animals in any way.
Exactly. Especially cats.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so she ends up rubbing his face and cuddling him, and we jump to another scene where another exterminator shows up, but Mike's not answering his phone. Victoria calls Dawn's phone again and follows the sound, where she finds Dawn's body. And then she runs and finds the crazy cat ladies crawling towards her. But it turns out that she sees that the cat lady has been scalped and is laying over the other side, and it's fucking Art wearing her fucking hair and her tits. Art is wearing her tits naked, and I swear to God, before I knew that the guitarist from Marilyn Manson did the soundtrack, I said, now Art is wearing her tits like a fucking Marilyn Manson music video. This is the dope show. So I thought that was really cool. And I loved it. I absolutely fucking loved Art wearing the titties and the hair. It was fucking fantastic. If you listen to the interviews on Who Will Survive, you will hear a very funny story about this scene, but I will leave it to those shows to listen to. I will try to remember to put links to those shows down in the comments, but yeah, they are on Legion Podcast Network with us, so easy to find.
I've got a question. Question for y'all. Okay. You know that spot right after he's crawling and he's going after her and he comes, in his very weird feminine way walking up the stairs? If you look, it looks like there is something bloody and nasty over his crotch. Okay. Now I was curious about this. I was just like, because I was expecting, this movie to go the next level and, you see this guy's dick, but there's something there that looks bloody and nasty. But I wanted to know if he cut off part of her vagina and put it down there.
Do you want the real answer?
I rewound it. Okay, and look back at her laying on the floor, and there's no cut marks or nothing down there. You can almost see part of her landing strip.
So that is a black sock.
Okay.
He's wearing a cock sock.
Yeah, but it's all okay. Do they bloody it up and nasty?
They might have bloodied it, but he's definitely wearing a cock sock.
Okay.
And you know what's actually, okay, so when they're telling the story in the interviews, he actually talks about when the director calls him, because this was not in the original script. They kind of amped it up, and he agreed to do it because the chick who played Dawn did her scene. So he agreed, eventually it was just him wearing the skin on top of the clown outfit, and then it was getting naked and wearing it. So he was asked to bring a cock sock. He brought a white one and not a black one, and they were like, this will show up on film. You can't wear a white one. So, but he never said if he switched it for a black one. So maybe they just bloodied it up to make it look darker.
Yeah, because, if you look at it, it almost looks like he's got a flap of skin of some kind. So that's the reason why I was like, okay, well, maybe he cut off down there, too, and slapped it on to make him look more like Buffalo Bill. And then I fucking goddamn rewound it, and I'm like, no. I'm like, her landing strip is in perfect fucking goddamn, it's intact, so it doesn't look like she's been all cut up down there. So I was like, well, what the fuck is that? And so obviously, but the bloody part of it is where I'm like, okay, because I could see the cocksock part, because if it's black and it's in that area where the lighting was, you wouldn't see shit. But you can clearly see the red shining stuff if you go back and look at that scene.
So yeah, Victoria is now hiding in a tool cabinet. I don't know what the fuck this is supposed to be. As fucking Art does his best Buffalo Bill impersonation, right before he's about to open the door, the other exterminator honks the horn, and he has to go find out what's going that. And as the exterminator is about to leave, he remembers that there's a key under the placemat, which is bullshit. No place in New York would leave a key under a placemat. This is unrealistic, and I want realism, goddammit.
Yeah,
that's extremely unrealistic. I can honestly go with you on that. I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, what fucking factory in the middle of a city is going to leave a goddamn key under the mat? No fucking where. Nowhere.
Yeah, I would have been more accepting if he had went in to Mike's car and Mike had the key above his visor or something.
Right.
It was just dumb. So he gets in there, he steps on the doll, Emily, and Art appears above him from behind and stabs him right in the top of the head, then fucking slits his head, or slits his neck and then like just pulls his head off. It literally looked like those fucking early post 9/11 fucking ISIS beheading videos. Like,
I hate those.
That's what this fucking looked like, except prettier.
I try not to watch
Less
those
dirt.
real videos. I've seen one of them and I was like, that's fucked up.
Yep.
But the head, again, the head that they made for this guy when he like picks it up and then he puts it on the floor and puts his fucking that big ass clown shoe on it, that head looks great.
Yeah, it does. A lot of the effects look really good.
Yes.
I mean, I gotta give dude credit. The practical effects look amazing.
Yeah. Speaking of amazing, Art found a tiny bike and it has a bell. It's
Did
kind
anyone
of
else
like,
feel like this was Saw? Anyone else feel like
you know what?
there was a Saw throughout?
I was actually, this whole scene made me go, it's kind of like the Leprechaun where he finds a shoe and he has to clean it. If Art finds a tiny bike, he has to ride it. It's clown law.
I was actually talking to Jay right before we started recording that I like the fact that he does clown type stuff. You know,
Yes.
It's not like a person just dressed up like a clown because he, you know, like in that fucking horrible Travesty 31. It's he actually does clown stuff. He like when he walks up and his hand movements and shit like that. When he puts the ring on the girl at the beginning and stuff like that and everything. It almost like it takes you back to the fact, oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
And then he fucking kills somebody else.
The only time he does something that is not clown-like is when he's in a car by himself, because no clown would be in a car by himself. That is bullshit, okay? He is in the Captain Spaulding College of Clowns, and it's not a very good clown college, okay? I followed up his Rob Zombie reference with my own Rob Zombie reference.
Yeah, with a better reference.
I know. So then they show rats on a gas can, which I wrote down as foreshadowing. Never came back up. Thought that was odd. Like, way to fuck me up. I'm like, oh, I called it. This is gonna play into it. They never come back to it. Kenneth's about to be so excited. I know he loved this scene. Art catches Victoria and puts a bag around her face. And she does the smart thing of ripping into the hole of her mouth.
Yes. I was like, thank God. How does nobody ever think of that?
Actually, the first time that I watched it, I literally put both my arms up in the air and I was like, yes! I was like, fucking finally! And then the look on Art's face where he's like fucking genuinely surprised at the fact that she goddamn ripped her bag. Like, well, that wasn't supposed to happen.
Yeah.
It was great. It was fucking awesome.
And then, much like you would understand, Victoria, who is Roman, decides to stab Art in the foot with a giant nail, because Art is Jesus. Is what I'm getting at. And he has now been stabbed 3 times, which is how many times Jesus was stabbed when being hung on the cross, if you believe the Bible. But the Bible's actually wrong. They wouldn't have put his 2 feet together and done one nail. They actually put the feet on the sides of the wooden cross, and there's a nail into each ankle into the sides of the cross.
That's fucking sick.
That is actually how you crucify. Also, you don't nail through the hands. It's nails through the wrist.
Jesus was special.
Actually, he was, because a lot of times when they crucified people, the cross was upside down. But they had stopped doing that because they found out that people fainted from being the blood rushing to their head, and so they weren't getting the full extent of the pain. So literally, they stopped doing that.
Slower right side up.
Yeah, they die slower right side up. So Jesus was part of the new testing group.
Yep.
Didn't work very well. He became a zombie. So that sucks.
Even a spear to the ribs didn't take him down.
Nope, the Lance of Longinus, long live vagina. Mike the Exterminator is still alive. But unfortunately, Victoria finds Tara dead in a chair with a sign that says circus. Now, was that just laying around? Did it come from that arts and crafts room we saw earlier? Or did he have that in his bag? Because it looks too big to be in his bag. The world
Who
may
knows?
never know.
Hmm.
Uh,
I'm pretty sure you found that.
yeah.
There's a bunch of junk in that fucking.
Art then shows up with a cat o' nine tails whip that he whipped at a candle with to get a whip upgrade like Castlevania, so that he can do more damage.
That's actually what he was making in the beginning of the movie.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
But
I really like the scalpel whip.
Yes, it is fucking awesome. But Mike hits him in the back of the head with a can to stop his whipping of Victoria. And Mike starts getting Victoria out there. But as Mike starts to call the police, Victoria is straight up freaking the fuck out. Once again, I'm like, oh shit. Victoria is about to like flip out and kill Mike. But I did not call that either, much like the gas can with rats. So, good job, movie. Art then smashes Mike in the face with a gigantic barrel of metal, and then with one foot stomps his fucking head open. So
did y'all catch where the can that fucking Art hit him in the back, hit Mike in the back of the head with was the same can that he hit Art with?
I was trying to figure that out if it was the same one, and I was like, fuck it, I bet they'll know.
I thought it was hilarious. I was just like, ha ha! Like, you're gonna hit me with that, motherfucker? I'm gonna do exactly the same way, and I'm gonna step up the game and crush your face.
Yeah, how did y'all feel about the one-shot head explosion?
I loved it. I thought it was great.
Those are always fun.
I thought it looked good.
My only problem with them is every time someone explodes someone's head with one stomp, I have to go, if Nazi Edward Norton couldn't do it, I don't think you can.
Nazi Edward Norton was not a mystical clown creature.
We're going to get, I'm going to save it.
That's the reason why I said it looked good. I didn't really take the time to get, I mean, for a split second, I was just like, there's no fucking way you can crush somebody's head that easy.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave it at that.
I love the fact that Art, as soon as he does it, is like super winded, and he's just like doing his like, give me a second. That was fucking great. Victoria finally knocks off the lock from the locked door, but unfortunately he catches her. She hits him in the face and gets out. She, instead of running down the fucking street screaming bloody murder for someone to come and help you, she decides to go in the doors that say keep out. Now, I'm not saying this is why people make fun of white people in horror movies, but this is why people make fun of white people in horror movies.
True.
Okay. So he catches her, but she pulls away, and he honks his horn at her before disappearing, which is hilarious. She grabs a metal pole, and then she kind of gets close to the door. Nothing happens. I'm like, bitch, don't get close to that door. Then she turns her back to the door. Nothing happens, and I'm like, you need to get away from the door. Why would you do this? And while I'm typing in my notes that she shouldn't be doing this, nothing happens with it. Once again, damn it, movie, you got me. And now sirens can be heard in the distance as Art drives a truck into the door and knocks her the fuck out. He then starts eating her face as cops show up. They ask him to put his hands up. He really doesn't, but the look on his face is great as Art grabs the gun off of his ankle and shoots himself by putting the gun in his mouth and blowing the top of his head off. And I just want to say that is how spree killers do it, which is lining up with what Art is, because in this movie they don't show him ever doing this before, so we don't know if this is his first time or if he's done it before like this. But if he only does it on Halloween night, technically he could still be a spree killer. And most spree killers end their reign of terror by killing themselves. So Victoria's still alive, and that's when we go to the morgue where the doctor is there, and he does Jay's favorite line of 8-month microwave to death. Everything else is over that.
So fucked up.
Yeah, as he opens the bag, the lights freak out. Art is smiling and looking at him. A phone rings, a woman's voice, which is, I'm 100% positive, is the cat lady. It's repeating lines she said earlier in the movie. Art Art grabs the MD, and a year later, we see the Victoria is leaving the hospital with her face wrecked. So we have to get into this whole, is Art supernatural or not?
Came back from the dead.
Here's the thing, though. What, and you know what, you might call me crazy, but clowns pull tricks. Could Art have a blood cap and a blast cap on the back of his head, use a fake gun with a the fake bullet thing that just makes a loud sound and only kills you if your last name is Lee?
Blank?
Yeah, blank. Wow, did no one like my Lee joke?
Too soon.
Too soon. Okay. Because I don't like to think of Art as supernatural. I want him to be a real person. And I would think it would be dope as fuck if he planned this whole thing for it to end with him faking killing himself. And, escaping when he gets to the morgue. That idea to me is so fucking awesome. And that's what I want it to be. I don't want it to be supernatural. But the easy answer is that he's supernatural, which I don't like.
So, I could get behind that theory. Because when he wakes up, his wound isn't healed. It's just hanging out. So if it was a special effect planted by him, that would make sense. However, all the lights and electricity and shit flicker right before he stands up, too.
But New York has power surges all the time. Coincidence could be.
I have a question.
Yes, I do want it in the mouth.
All right, you listen to the interviews and stuff like that. Did they ever say at any point in time that this movie made it seem like that the first Terrifier short never happened?
So they said that this is the Terrifier short, just expanded to a movie. So I guess it just replaces the short.
Okay. Then I could totally get behind your theory.
I'm guessing in the short, it's clear that it's supernatural.
No, there's supernatural elements. There's more supernatural elements in the short. Like when there's a girl driving down the road and she sees Art behind her, and then later on he ends up in front of her. And she clearly doesn't turn around or anything, almost like an It kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? So there are more aspects in the short about him being supernatural than there is in this movie.
I might have to tweet at the director because I want to know. I really want to know, and I'm sure they finished the script for Terrifier 2, so I'm guessing we're going to get an answer there anyway. Which hell yes, I will see Terrifier 2 day fucking one.
Yeah, if it's in the theater, I'm totally cool.
Oh, I don't think it'll come to theater because it's just a little too brutal. If it follows the first one, it's just too brutal. But I don't care if it hits VOD. I will fucking get that day one. Fucking the movie is fantastic. This is 100% how you make a fun 80s slasher in the 2010s or whatever you want to call this. It's fantastic.
I can't wait until we can start saying the 20s again.
Yeah, the Roaring 20s.
But yeah, I actually kind of like the fact that you don't know. I mean, that's one of the things that I do enjoy about this movie is because there is no backstory other than if you've seen the short and you want to link them together. Otherwise, there's no backstory on Art at all.
I don't know if it's still going to be that way for the script they've written, but I know in the interview, the director said his idea for a sequel is how Art became Art. So it would be the origin story. Which I'm all for. I love an origin story. It's the comic book nerd in me. We love origin stories. They can give us 7 different ones.
As long as it's done well.
But my whole thing is I don't want Art to be supernatural, and I feel like the movie, at the ending of it, is leading you to believe it's supernatural. The only thing I can't figure out is why Victoria goes and does that interview and kills the host.
Well, if you heard that bitch talking about how fucking goddamn ugly you were.
I know that, but why was she hiding in her fucking dressing room? She was already planning on killing her anyway. Why? Why is it like that's I just do not understand that part of it. I don't know why it's there other than to have a cool way to lead the film in and just to tie it up at the end.
I don't know. Maybe to just showcase that chick that was the host, because she was in the first one too.
I have a question. Did anyone see if she was eating the reporter's face? When my boyfriend and I watched it, it was both of our second time watching it. We thought maybe she was eating her face at the end.
I thought she didn't have a mouth.
That's true, but she would have had to talk, so there would be a mouth of some kind for her to do the interview.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Right? So
little pieces to just kind of shove back there. So
I just wasn't sure if that would happen or not. But Jerry, I agree with you. I think it was set up to be supernatural, but I think that's a cop out. I would much rather prefer your version.
Yeah, I want to talk to the director now, because I have some questions. And even if he goes supernatural, I assume he'll be able to pull it off, and I can't wait to see what he does with it. But
all right, Terrifier director, you're the next guest. Come on down.
I'll fucking hit him up. I will tell him to fucking come on. I will bring him the fuck on here, and he will answer
your face
my questions. He can come on my face. I'm fine with it. Hey, you know what? I'll take a shot in the mouth if it gets me a couple miles down the road.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I do think that Victoria does to the host of the TV show what was done to her. So, because that's how they set it up, that's how they mimic it. So therefore, there's a good chance she was eating her flesh.
Yeah, I just wasn't sure if you guys noticed that too, or if that was just something we thought was happening and were looking for.
I don't know. I guess we'll find out in the next one. Hopefully they'll make it soon.
I hope so. I hope that I know Dread Central. Is it Dread Central or Dead Central? I think it's Dread Central.
One of the two.
They were the ones who ended up distributing this flick. So I assume that they should be able to fucking make it and put it out there, and fuck it. Do a fucking Indiegogo or Kickstarter or something. I'd support the shit out of a Terrifier 2.
I would too, and and the thing about it is with the level of praise that the movie has gotten, I'm pretty sure that it would have a lot more backers. I mean, honestly, I think it'd be cool if Netflix got on board and had the second one made, because I'm pretty sure it definitely got a lot of attention when it showed up on Netflix.
Yeah, I'd worry a little bit if Netflix would try to calm it down any or not. But
I don't know, man, because I've seen some of the shit that Netflix has made. Look at Dirt. Dirt, it definitely ain't got blood and guts in it to a degree, but look at all the other raunchy shit that's in Dirt.
That's true.
I think I have to watch more Netflix films, because the ones I've seen have sucked. So obviously there's some better ones. Oh yeah, okay.
Yes,
let's try that.
I can't recommend that one enough.
Okay.
Watch me eat a plate of pasta.
Have you watched the Castlevania anime?
What? Pardon?
Did you watch the Castlevania anime that's on Netflix? Yeah.
No.
I still got to watch
season 2. Are you into anime?
2. I have watched anime, actually. I listened to your Bleach episode, not Bleach,
What
Berserk
the
episode.
fuck?
I saw Bleach. I've watched Bleach before, but I have seen Berserk actually too. I haven't watched anime in a long time, but I had seen Berserk, and I did listen to your episode about.
Yeah. Oh, we should have done an episode of fucking Berserk on here. We didn't do it because we had a guest. Now I'm like, fuck, we should have done it.
Yeah, we just assumed it'd be too hard to have you.
I would have watched Berserk. I would have watched it. I watched it years ago. I could watch it again.
Damn.
Watch Castlevania. Castlevania's fucking amazing.
It's
so good.
I've only seen season 1 of it. I gotta watch season 2.
Season 2 was good. Season 2 felt more like actual Castlevania than season 1 to me.
Yeah, because you get more of the creatures in the second season, and you also get more of the music,
more stuff from the games.
I don't want to hear any more about it. Less I know, the better.
Sorry, we're done.
So, does anyone have any final thoughts about Terrifier they want to throw out there?
Don't
Heather?
take slutty selfies with the clown when you're drunk.
Valid piece of advice. Heather, any last words on Terrifier?
I just think it's great to see a slasher and a horror like this again, and I hope that more come. And I think it's great. I'm glad you guys did it, and I'm glad I got to be on the show.
Yeah, Jay, any other words of wisdom?
No, I gave my words of wisdom.
Okay, Kenneth.
I agree with Heather. I love this movie. I think it's a breath of fresh air for the slasher genre, especially in the new millennium. And also, I'd like to thank Heather for coming onto the show because you're definitely a big supporter, and we really appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, I'm wearing my Kill the Cast tank top tonight, just so we're clear. I made sure I had it on for this evening.
That's
awesome.
You should take a picture, and we'll put it on our page.
There is a
if you're comfortable with that.
I actually posted a picture of just a tank top because I thought it would be kind of odd for me to post a random selfie on your Facebook page of myself. But
one of my friends who bought a shirt, I posted it when she first took a selfie.
Yeah, post it in the group. We'll post it on the Facebook page. Because if you post to the Facebook page, it really doesn't show up. So you have to post in the group.
Or you can just send it to one of us. And...
Yeah. 'Cause we've had, like, Nikki, she's done a picture of her in her Kill the Cast shirt. And,
and that's where the hashtag came from.
Yeah. But, yeah, and as for Terrifier, I absolutely loved it. It's good to have another modern slasher. Art the Clown versus Victor Crowley, maybe? Huh? Let's get that going. I want to see that
wouldn't
happen.
work though unless Art is supernatural, because Victor just keeps coming back.
Okay, well, fuck. If Art's gonna be supernatural, make him supernatural down in the bayou. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, fair enough.
It's absolutely fucking a wonderful movie. It's a great one to put on to just enjoy. If you're having a party, throw on Terrifier. Perfect party movie. It's great. When someone's doing a Jell-O shot and ready to make tons of bad decisions, but at least they're going to wake up with a story the next morning, and the background to that story will be like, and she let the guy blow a load all over her face, but it happened at the same time this chick was getting sawed in half on the TV. Is fucking epic. And then everyone's like, dude, that wasn't a chick.
Fantasy.
Yeah, dude, it was a chick. No, that was definitely not a chick. It was a Halloween party. And that was definitely someone dressed up as Tommy Lee from Motley Crue.
I'm okay with all this.
I am too, because it happened to me. Anyway,
I think we with that little get together we had at your apartment, we had Hellraiser going.
We did. We had Hellraiser and Reanimator.
Yeah.
I think we played
wow,
another
those sound like
movie.
good movies. Shit, what a good night.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, we had a good time.
It was a fucking fun night.
Amazing set of tits.
Yeah. So that is Terrifier. Definitely go fucking check out the movie. It is fucking awesome. Before we get out of here, I want to say, hey, if you like our podcast, you should check out some other podcasts on Legion. Like, check out Friday the 13th, which is a podcast from the gay perspective, as they talk about not only real life horror, but horror movies. You can also check out the Psychosemantic podcast. If you're just feeling like, goddamn, you need some politics in your horror, you can get it there, because they go full on with that, and it's always a good fucking time. Other than that, thank you, Heather, for joining us. If you enjoyed having Heather on here, let us know. She also did a YouTube video with us talking about what movies we'd like to see prequel to. She chose It Follows, and she had a really good idea for us, so check that video out on our YouTube channel. And you can check out Kenneth on Instagram at Silent Hill Biker 66. We are also on Twitter at KillTheCast. We are on Facebook at KillTheCast. We are in your bedroom, in your closet.
I'm actually under your bed right now listening to you have sex with your wife.
Yeah, unfortunately though, Jay, you'll know when Jay comes, because for some reason when he comes, he starts singing Metallica songs. It's very odd.
I'm like, for whom the bell tolls.
So, yes, and once again, I have no idea what the fuck our next episode is going to be, because we're still willy-nilly right now, after how many planned shows we had for the Horror Coliseum Freddy vs. Jason run. So we're still willy-nilly. We just did Suspiria, and who knows what the fuck is next. I don't think I have anything else to say. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Heather, for joining us. We'll go around and get last words from everybody. Heather, do you have any last words you want to tell the audience?
Yeah, buy a shirt. Don't be so cheap, guys.
Yeah,
buy a Cat shirt and support them. It's a great podcast.
And I'm trying to get the second design finished. Reese is making it. She technically just has to add the words to it, but apparently that's the hardest part. So Mooses with Nooses are coming. It was a quote on one of the episodes. For some reason I'm stuck on Mooses with Nooses. And there's that Looney Tunes Daffy Duck's Quackbusters movie where Porky Pig and Sylvester are at that haunted hotel, and that moose head that's on the wall has a noose come down from it.
Yes.
And it's that, and it says Mooses with Nooses fan club, and it's gonna be the next Kill the Cat shirt.
Nice.
So, fucking stoked. Jay, do you have any last words?
Time marches on.
When I was.
No, it was the next line after For Whom the Bell Tolls. Continuing the Metallica joke.
Oh, well, I don't like...
Now it's ruined.
I don't like Metallica,
Done.
so...
Done.
I would rather listen to My Chemical Romance, and I don't care what y'all
Me too.
think of me.
I like My Chemical Romance.
You like them more than Metallica?
Honestly, probably, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, even though I really only like their first album a lot.
I'm all over the place with music, man. You know this.
That's true. Kenneth, any last words?
Make sure that you double check the money that's in the envelope that you leave on the bathroom counter in the hooker's hotel room.
Who leaves them money? You Grand Theft Auto this motherfucker.
Nah, you can't do that these days.
Yeah, because then it becomes rape.
Right.
It's not rape. It's murder. The sex was consensual. You just murdered her before you actually paid her.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize the murder was involved in this. Definitely, that's fine.
I never have sex unless it's consensual. Now, you could argue that if the murder's premeditated, that I'm leading her on under false pretenses and it could be rape, but that's why I never plan ahead. So there you go. But I don't do that anymore because I might get Cardi B. And homie, don't play that. Yeah. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Hookers keep over your DNA.
Hey, Paul, what I was thinking is that we need to cut a promo.
Yeah, I've been working on some ideas. It's just I don't really know where to go with it exactly. What if I got like a filter where we could just kind of talk normally and we can have kind of a script, but then I can like filter it so that one of us will have one kind of voice and then one will have the other.
I want to put my request. Make me as Freddy Krueger. Can you do that?
Maybe instead of the voices, what if we tried to like write a skit, develop a whole thing, and we have a backstory? But I don't know. That might be kind of too long. So
like screeching cars and explosions and fireworks and
yeah. Well, what about?
I like it.
Maybe instead of doing a filter, we could just like reach out to Robert Englund himself, and maybe he can just record a promo for us sometime. Do you think? I mean, we might have to like raise some money.
We can do a Kickstarter, and we could just throw it out to like Robert Englund and just all kinds of actors, and I think people will do that.
I think.
Sure, why not?
Well, you know what? I don't know. Maybe we're overthinking this whole thing. How about if we just tell people where to find us?
I like that.
You can find us at Who Will Survive on iTunes, Stitcher, on the Legion Podcast Network, and on the Raw Live and Unedited Podcasting Network. Also on Facebook and Instagram under the same name.
Oh, wait. Can we do it underwater with
that,
piranhas killing me?
That would kind of be brutal.
And if that doesn't work, then you can do the regular promo.
All right. Well, just get in the water and I'll go get some fish.
All right, cool.
If you enjoyed this show, then make sure you check out the other great shows on the Legion Podcast Network, like Cinema Psyops, Cinema Beef, Devour the Podcast, Duncan and Bo Come Correct, Exploding Heads Horror Movie Podcast, Friday the 13th, Get Slayed, The Helming Power Hour, Hello, This is the Doom Show, Hero Hero Go Show, Kill the Cast, Underwater Kaiju from Outer Space, Jerry Hates Action, Legion After Dark, Mental Health, Obsessive Cinema, Discourse, Pick 6 Movies, the podcast by The Cemetery, the podcast on Haunted Hill, the Psychosemantic Podcast, Rick Radio, House of Wax, Dude Looks Like the 80s, Rabbit and Red Radio, the Shadecast, Short Bus Cinema, 2 Drink Minimum Commentaries, the VD Clinic, Who Will Survive Horror Podcast, and Witch vs. the Doomsday Clock. With such a wide spread of shows, there is guaranteed to be a niche for you to fall in love with. Horror, politics, movies, books, sex, music, commentaries, health, video games, kaiju, action, news, comedy, and opinions that would most likely get you killed in some parts of the world. We are proud to bring you some of the best podcasting in the world. Check us out at www.legionpodcast.com, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, and any other dark corner of the internet where podcasts can be found.